Hi, this is Cynthia again, and somebody asked me today at the end of my last video about papaya leaf whether you needed to use fresh or dry leaves and how you actually make it to make a medicinal tea that is extremely effective for cancer and for boosting your immune system and for a lot of different diseases. And this is not hype. This is not just somebody made it up. I have personally seen it be extremely effective and put people into complete remission who had been diagnosed by a pathologist as having various kinds of cancer. It seems to be particularly good for hard tumors, but I understand it's very good for pancreatic cancer as well as leukemia. And leukemia is not a hard tumor, so I don't know the whole scope of it necessarily. I haven't, at least personally, but seriously, I think that if you have a real problem, this is something to seriously try. And that's my cat over there doing something, and to keep it up, because I really think you will see a real effect. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Somebody asked me today whether you needed to use fresh or dry and how you need to make it. If you are lucky enough to have fresh leaves, by all means use fresh leaves. What is that cat doing? But dry leaves work just as well. The people that I know who have put themselves into remission have used only dry leaves because that's what they had available. I do recommend that you try to get organically grown papaya leaves, and what I have here is from Star West Botanicals. And no, I don't sell them. I don't sell anything because if I did, I couldn't tell you all this stuff. And these seem to be very good quality leaves. They're about the only ones I found that were organically grown. And the reason why I seriously recommend that is because papaya trees themselves are frequently heavily sprayed. So it would be much better to use it organically grown. So here's what I'm going to do. With a fresh leaf, first I'll tell you about how to do it with a fresh leaf. For dengue fever, which papaya is a cure for, it really boosts the platelets very, very quickly. In countries that have papaya trees naturally, people will take the papaya leaves, fresh papaya leaves, macerate them, and somehow squeeze out the juice. And might take 6 leaves, 3 to 6 leaves, something like that, and they may have several tablespoons of this green, white, latexy liquid, and they swallow that directly, and they can have an amazing effect on proliferation of platelets. With the dry, all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put as much you can drink. It's really non-toxic. I put a huge tablespoon in here. This is a small pot. Here is what it looks like, the dried papaya leaves. See? Just dump it in here. That's probably enough for that pot. And I am going to fill the pot with, I use filtered water because I'm going to boil or simmer these leaves until the liquid is reduced to half. And then I just put a top. I don't put a top on it during that time. I'm gonna leave it, put it up pretty high, and I'm gonna put it on. Actually, I can put it on. Well, you know what? I won't put it on low this time. I'm just going to watch it and let it go quickly, and then when it starts to boil, I will put it on low so it doesn't bubble over. And wait until the liquid is way down. And once that's done, I will we'll strain it and drink it. Probably I'm going to stir it a little bit to get those leaves wet and get them down there. I find if I stir it and get the leaves as much as I can saturated with water initially, it doesn't form as it's trying to boil kind of a roof on top of the water. And kind of make it boil harder and boil over. So that's all I do. And I think this is the way to prepare it. This is the best way to prepare it if you're really using it for a specific purpose. If you just want to make tea out of it, you know, put some in a strainer inside a teacup, or you can also buy tea bags of it. If you just want to do that, that's fine. And it would be beneficial for you, make you feel better, it will help for your immune system. But if you really need to get some serious help, this is the way to do it. So it's not boiling yet, and it will in a little while. I'll bring it up high so it'll go quickly. Here's what it looks like when it's boiling, the tea is boiling. And I wanted to let you know as well that I probably gave you the impression that with fresh leaves you just squeeze them, chop them up and squeeze the juice out. But actually most people also make a tea just like this out of the fresh leaves. They just chop them up. You can use as much as you like. The more, the merrier. They have not found that it is toxic in virtually any dose. So, and it doesn't seem to interact even at all with any form of chemotherapy. So I don't think you need to even be worried about that. It's something you can use with anything else that you're trying, unless you're allergic to latex or papaya. You know, if you're allergic, then of course this is not the plant for you. And there are lots of plants that have amazing powers, but papaya leaf is, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of a lot of people who have used it, is particularly effective, and that's why I'm letting you know about this. What does this taste like? Well, it's not too bad. A lot of people that have tried it like it. Other people think it tastes pretty bad. Initially I thought it tasted pretty bad actually, but my body liked it. I've never had cancer as far as I know, but I do use this as a preventative. And because my body liked it, I got used to the flavor, and I really actually enjoy it now, and frequently I will actually want to have a cup. So don't let that, give it a shot. Some people combine it with peppermint. Some people combine it with chamomile. I would not put chamomile or peppermint in while you're boiling it, but you could when you when you reduce it to half and you turn off the heat. You can put some bags of chamomile or peppermint in and put a lid on and let it steep until it cools enough for you to drink, if you would prefer to do it that way. They also have available liquid extracts that I think that they sweeten them, and you could use that as well. The only thing I think about that is it's unbelievably expensive. They charge about $80 for a bottle that would probably last you no more than a month. And this is very inexpensive, and it's very effective. So, and you can control how strong it is. It should be pretty strong if you're going to use it for something serious. You don't have to worry that you're going to poison yourself, because you're not. So let me see, what else can I tell you about this? Well, let's just wait until it has finished boiling and then I'll show you what I do. Okay, so we've got this boiled down to about half now. You can see what it looks like. I'll just hold it up. And I'm just going to put the top on it. Well, actually today for you I'm just going to turn it off. Normally I would put the top on it and I just let it cool and steep for a little longer. But today I think I will just strain it so that you can kind of see what I have left. And I'm going to get a cup now, to a big cup. Let's see. Well, I think I'll get a mason jar. I don't know if I have a whole quart, but we'll see. And I'm going to just use an old tea strainer. You could use any kind of a strainer and just pour it in here. Hope I don't burn myself this way. Ah, I did, a little bit. Okay, and this is what I have left. Normally I would let it cool and then I would grab it and kind of squeeze out all the good. Squeeze out as much as I can and then strain it again just to get it all. But when it is cool enough, you can just dump this in your compost pile or in the garbage, however you do it. And it's very easy to clean up and it's very quick too. Now, if you really have something going on that you're using this for, how much should you drink every day? Well, really that's up to you, but the more the merrier. So normally I would let this cool down completely to the point where I'm ready to drink it, and I would and I put the top on it and let it cool, and that takes about half an hour maybe. And then I would grab this and squeeze out as much as I can of the rest of whatever juices are in there, and then I'd strain that again. But the pot's really easy to clean out. You can just put the grounds on your compost pile or, in your garbage, whatever you need to do, and wipe it out, clean it. It's very simple, really. Now, the last question, I guess, is how much should you be drinking every day if you're really taking it for something that's very serious? That's up to you, but the more the better, really. If what I would do and what I have recommended to others who have successfully brought themselves into remission, a couple quarts a day. Right now I've got probably a little less than a quart here, so you could use a bigger pot and put more in it. You'll just have to experiment a little bit, and this is almost like, it's almost like drinking water in a way. It doesn't have a lot of interactions with other things. It doesn't make you feel ill. It's very good for your liver. It's wonderful for your kidneys. It's just very, very good for you. So don't feel like you got to do it in some exact way or it won't work. You just should have enough of it. So if you're real serious, you should have certainly a quart or two, at least a quart, maybe 2 quarts a day. Just substitute all of your water and other things for this, and it will really, really make a big difference. Perhaps you might be wondering, you notice that I had another pot boiling on the stove here, and you might wonder what that is. I was boiling for myself some Pau d'Arco tea, some Tahibo Lapacho tea, and that is also a wonderful tea. I think no matter what, if I had something serious going on, I no doubt would use this, but I would use this too. This is wonderful. And you can boil fresh leaves the same as you can the dry. So whatever you have available in terms of papaya leaf, go for it. I have had, there was one lady that I helped who was diagnosed at a prestigious U.S. hospital by a board-certified pathologist of having triple-negative breast cancer. She had several weeks before she had to go into for chemotherapy, and during that time we managed, using papaya leaf tea, to actually have all evidence of her tumor, of a triple-negative tumor, disappear, and it has never recurred. So there's one last thing I really want to tell you that's important. If you find that if you use this and you find that you're going into remission or you're in remission, never think, okay, I'm cured, it's absolutely done, it will never happen again. It's not clear to me, and this is just my own opinion perhaps, that there might not be a single cell left which could go ahead and multiply later on. And as we all know, if you've had somebody in your family or something who's had cancer or breast cancer, it frequently recurs. So what I would do and what I recommend to everybody is, if you have something like that and you've brought yourself into remission, you may not need to drink 2 quarts a day. Maybe a quart would be enough, but definitely keep it up. Don't just say I'm done, because who knows, maybe you really are cured, maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but I wouldn't want to bank on it. And this will help you. It really will. So I wish you all the best, and I hope I've answered your questions, and I wish you a good day. Thank you.